right. Good day, distinguished guests, cherished viewers, and every phenomenal woman watching us today. It is often said that behind every successful man, there's a woman. But today, that narrative has evolved. Women are no longer standing behind success. Instead, we are building it, leading it, redefining it, and becoming the very destination of it. Women today are changing boardrooms, shaping industries, leading homes, influencing policy, telling powerful stories, and breaking ceilings that once seemed unbreakable. Whenever success is mentioned in our world today, women are not just present. We are central to the conversation, and that is why today, this is special. So let me say welcome to to the very first edition of Joy Prime's International Women's Day Show. This is a celebration of strength, resilience, brilliance, and the unstoppable force that is womanhood. I think that deserves a round of applause. Yes. Now, I am not the moderator for tonight. I am simply here to introduce you to the incredible woman who will be guiding us through the timely and thoughtful, provoking discussion. She will be introducing our distinguished panelists and leading a conversation that promises to inspire, challenge, and empower. So to every woman here, to every young woman watching, to every young girl with a dream in her heart and fire in her spirit, today is for you. So sit back, lean in, listen closely, take notes if you must, because the words that will be shared on this stage could ignite the next chapter of your journey. My name is Loishola Adeyemi, and it is my honor to welcome our moderator for today, Michelle Ejekum. Please put your hands together.
Thank you so much, Shola Adeyemi. I love to call her Aja. Please put your hands together for her one more time. Thank you so much, and you're welcome to the very first edition of Her Space on Joy Prime. Now, this is our yearly conversation every time we celebrate International Women's Day from today. And anytime it's International Women's Day, it echoes the fact that the strength of a woman needs to be celebrated. If you agree with me, you should put your hands together as well. All right, so today it's not just about the applause of the fact that women are existing and thriving, but it's also because women are changing the narratives. Look, there are so many jobs, but then women have decided that, look, we're not going to stay and allow them to keep telling us, oh, don't worry, it will be fine, it will be fine. But then we rather want to move in and make very impactful changes. And that is what we're seeing here today. And so today, on Her Space, I am very, very honored to be introducing to you amazing women who are doing so well in male-dominated areas where I'm sure that you watching us at home and my studio audience here as well never thought that any woman could probably be in there and be thriving, you know, because anytime we hear of certain fields, we're looking at the fact that, okay, it's a man's job, but today women are there and they're changing the narratives. I am Michelle Ejekum, just as Lois rightly said, and I'll be your moderator. But let me introduce you to our panelists, and our first panelist is Ethel Kofi. Let's take a look at her profile.
Name one of the top 5 women influencing technology in Africa. Ethel Kofi is a digital economy strategist, policy convener, and one of Africa's most prominent technology governance voices. She's the founder and CEO of Edo Technology Consulting and the creator of the Future of Finance Dialogues, a high-level policy series that convenes central bank governors, regulators, and financial sector leaders to shape the governance of Africa's digital economy. She serves as board member and vice chair of the Finance Committee of the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communications, board chair of Budget Ghana, Technology and Innovation Committee chair at Old Mutual Insurance Ghana, and chief strategic advisor to the Ghana FinTech and Payments Association. She chairs the Ghana Government ICT Sector Skills Board, under which she led the development of Ghana's first national AI curriculum for technical universities, and sits on the board of Star Ghana Foundation. Ethel is the founder of Women in Tech Africa, the continent's largest women in tech network, spanning 35-plus countries and a UN Equals Award winner. She's the author of In Pursuit of the Gazelle 2020, an Obama Yali Fellow who completed an executive leadership program at the Yale School of Management, Named one of the top 5 women influencing technology in Africa, her work has been featured on CNN, BBC, and Wired UK.
It's good to see you, Ethel.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes,
I'm honored to be at the first International Women's Day event, from Joy Prime. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thank you for honoring our invitation as well. Our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen watching us at home, obviously, she is one woman that, I mean, we're all into journalism, we're all into communications, but we have different segments. And for where she stands, there are just few women, but she didn't just exist. She's doing more, and even more than the men. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome, in fact, let's take a look at her profile first.
Senyejom Adadivo is one of Ghana's most celebrated sports photographers and photojournalists, known for breaking barriers in an industry traditionally dominated by men. Born in Jelukope in the Volta region of Ghana, she began her photography career in 1999 and later specialized in sports photography, a field where few women have historically thrived. She has covered some of the biggest global sporting events, including 2 Olympic Games, multiple African Nations Cups, 4 FIFA World Cups, with the upcoming World Cup making it 5. Capturing iconic moments and telling powerful visual stories from fields and arenas where photographers are overwhelmingly male. Beyond her camera work, Senyejom is a founder and entrepreneur, leading companies such as Images Image, Sports Unlimited, and Society Unlimited that support photographic excellence and nurture visual storytelling talent in Ghana and across the continent. She's the founding president of the Sports Photographers Association of Ghana. She's also recognized not only for her craft, but for her influence in shaping Ghana's media and sports culture, earning accolades as Ghana's best sports photographer, being featured among the top 50 most influential young Ghanaians, and receiving honors from organizations like WISA Ghana. Beyond her professional achievements, Miss Adadivo is blessed with a daughter who inspires her continued pursuit of excellence and impact. Her journey reflects tenacity, carving a path in a male-dominated field by letting her passion, skill, and vision speak louder than stereotypes.
Put your hands together. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now let's welcome our third panelist. She's an engineer who is very passionate about the environment and young girls as well. So she's very perfect. I mean, she's one of the perfect people to be on this platform today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at her profile. Lydia Asamoah.
Lydia Akosua Asamoah is an engineer with great interest in environmental sustainability, waste management research, and occupational health and safety. Her work focuses on building sustainable systems that are technically sound and socially inclusive. She's involved in STEM outreach initiatives aimed at increasing girls' participation in science and engineering. Her research interest spans from inclusive growth, sustainable waste, and water management systems in developing contexts. Beyond engineering, she moderates and hosts panel discussions on a variety of topics, especially ones geared towards women's empowerment and youth engagement. In her spare time, she enjoys reading, listening to music, and mentoring young women.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for honoring our invitation. Yeah. I mean, we have 3 powerful women here. And if you're watching us at home, and even if you're here in the studio as well, and you don't have your pens and your notes here, I don't know what you're doing, because you should be taking something out of here, because they're going to spill it all. How they've been able to rise through all the challenges, especially here in Africa, where, I mean, before, now it's changing. And that's because of these women, you know. But before then, okay, what are you coming to do here? And they try to, push it down, but they've been able to move above all of those challenges. And so if we find them here today, ladies and gentlemen, don't just watch. Make sure that you pick 1 or 2 notes. But before we get into our main conversation, I want to pick your thoughts on this particular issue. It's a regular thing we always say, even beyond International Women's Day. We usually hear the phrase, the strength of a woman. as women breaking barriers, when you hear this phrase, what does it mean to you? Ethel, let me start with you.
I think the thing is, all women are strong. I think just by virtue of the fact that you can thrive in the world that is not built for you, a world that you are put in, you come out as a woman. In my story, my mother didn't have any boys. And for years, when we go to funerals and things, people will whisper about my mother and talk about her, and she doesn't have any boys. So when you come into a world that thinks somehow just by virtue of your gender, you are a little less, I think you build resilience. So I think all women come out having to build resilience. It's just part of who we are. But I'm unhappy every time they use the strength of a woman, because sometimes it's also used to push women to work too hard, right? to push women to go to the limits. I think that women are strong just by virtue of the spaces we are brought into and the world we've been brought into. We've just had to evolve. But I am also cognizant of the fact that those phrases are used to push women to, she's working, she's taking care of the kids, she's doing this. Oh, but you are a strong woman. So there's a duality there.
Yeah. Please put your hands together. Senyu Jom, I got it right this time.
So well. Yeah. Well, like my sister said, I think it's a political statement. Yeah, it's just to drive you. And then, like she said, behind that, then we quote and unquote get abused, actually. Yeah, because then strength of a woman, so you keep going. And so sometimes that is why you know a great woman and then one day she just falls. Because that's sentence, strength of a woman. My dear, so when I'm tired, I'm tired. And when I can't do, I can't do. When I don't know, I don't know. Do you understand? So that's why sometimes I don't like the labeling, strength of a woman, woman leader. She's a leader.
Leader, that's it. She's
a leader. Her position, a leader is a leader. But you see, when you put a tag there, then every tag comes with a burden, a responsibility. So, strength of a human being. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Sometimes people have a problem with me that I'm not gender sensitive. No. I am gender sensitive that I think that laboring is abusive to us. Because then we're forced into holes we don't belong. So I say strength of living. I don't succumb to that saying strength of a woman.
Okay.
I hope I don't sound...
No.
We're here to tell the truth and to share the strength.
So, as it is.
So as soon as you begin to see, we say we're fighting for equality. Equality means you see the person as same. So where from you putting labels on yourself? Okay, I'm an engineer, I'm a photographer, Okay, yeah, there are certain times then you know that, Charlie, man pass man. Because in certain fields, but when I keep saying the only difference between a man and a woman is a physical strength. Other than that, when you put a man and a woman's brain, it's what the person brings to the table. So strength of a woman is strength of a living being.
Lydia, we want to hear your thoughts as well.
Like mom and then
Can't start calling people auntie and mom.
So you see, my issue was trying to pronounce your name. So as Senyu and then Ethel rightly said, it's about duality, and then the fact that we have to consider the labels we place on ourselves. There was a book we read back in school in literature. It says that the strength of the woman lies not only in the division of the breast, but it talks about the fact that it's not about the fact that she, as Senyu said, that she has this too. No, it goes beyond it. It's about brain power. It's about intentionality. It's about responsibility. So it's not label, I'm a woman, so, or your banty, let's let her. No. If she's a leader, she's a leader. If she's a wife, she's a wife. If she's a mother, she's a mother. If she's a tech enthusiast, she's a tech enthusiast. If she's an engineer, she's an engineer. So once you start labeling, then we give people room to say that then one is above the other. But although we have peculiar differences, when it comes to brain power, when it comes to our makeup, we are the same. So strength of a woman, it's not something we should really be encouraging so much. We should just understand that strength is strength. Yes, that's right.
I like that. I like that. Strength is a strength indeed. But here's where I also want to bring the house in. Look, you, well, not now, but you also get a chance to ask questions as well along the line. So please make sure that you pay attention and write down your questions, because if you don't ask a question, I'll be very, very shocked, because you can't have these three amazing, powerful women and just go home just like that. Of course, you're watching Her Space on Joy Prime. We're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. We'll take our first breather. When we come back, we get into our conversation for today. Please stay.
Yes, well, March 8th is International Women's Day, and I think the celebration is needed. But of course, we are to honor women every single day, all 365 days of the year. But what I can say about this is that women are not just celebrating Women's Day, we are creating history. I think that that should not be true. That's what I will say first and foremost, because me helping another woman become successful does not take away from my success at all.
Now, the 8th of March is International Women's Day, and as part of the celebrations, there's something that is always so dear to my heart, and it is my prayer that women will continue to support one another wherever they find themselves. It's so dear to me, because if we support ourselves, we get to reach wherever we want to reach in life.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Joy Prime. Let me remind you again that you're watching Her Space, the very first edition of its kind here, celebrating women every International Women's Day. And just like I said before, we're going to dive into our conversation. These are women who are breaking barriers. They're changing the status quo. And look, do you understand? But I'm so glad that we're having this conversation, because I have met younger girls who have always said, oh, I want to be an engineer, but then I think it's a male-dominated area. I'm like, okay, go and read about women in that field. Because you can't just sit at home and feel that, oh, so I'm not going to do it. So let's first listen to your inspiration. What was your inspiration? What inspired you? What was the aspiration as well to want to be in the fields that you find yourself and the reason that you keep thriving? Ethel, you want to start for us?
I think it was curiosity, and also I think lack of fear, right? Because I didn't realize it was a male-dominated field, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't realize. Nobody told me. I always had an affinity for math anyway while I was in primary school. So initially, I think the plan was I wanted to be a doctor. Then I went to secondary school, and then I disliked my biology teacher. Me and the biology teacher, we were just not working out. And so I shifted, literally decided that I also didn't like, maybe it was the teacher, that's why I didn't like biology. I don't know which one it was. I just didn't like biology. So wasn't sure what I was going to do. But when I finished secondary school, I went to Infantiman Girls.
Okay.
When I left school, I was home for that 1 year that I was home. I was sort of waking up, sleeping, eating, doing nothing with my life. My father said, hey, this is how you get in trouble. So he enrolled me in this diploma computer course. And I remember just the very first class, I was like, this makes sense. I can take the math, and I like to I want to create things. I like ideas and creating things, but I wasn't arty. So I had these ideas, but I could never actually build them. But when I saw that I could do math and then create and put them together, computer science just made sense. So it was at that point, I was going to go and do engineering in university. That was the plan. And at that point, we made the shift. I made the shift and said, no, I'm going to do computer science. But it's been purely, I think my journey has been purely curiosity.
Okay.
So I think this is interesting. Let me try it out and see. Because to be honest, at 18, 19, when they force you to make the decision about a career, you don't know enough about life to make a decision. You are just sort of figuring it out. So what I've done my whole career is, I'm curious about this space. This is interesting to me. Let me try it and see. This is how I ended up doing my degree in computer science, then doing my master's in a specialization of computer science, which is distributed systems. Then from there, when I started working, I would work in, they put the developers in the back. So if you're building systems and you don't talk to anybody, I was like, no, I don't like that. I want to build, but I also want to talk to people. And then, so I talked to my boss, and then they put me in another role that allowed me to talk to customers. And, after a while, I was like, oh, this is interesting. So across my career, it's always been, I'll look at things, I'll be interested in them, then I'll be curious. Like the last 3 years, I was curious in venture capital, investments. How do you invest in startups? Because I work with organizations like that. And so I was like, okay, let me see. I called a few friends and I said, I want to learn about how investments work with startups. And somebody got me, quote unquote, an internship. And then I sat on an investment committee of one of the companies. And I, sat there and I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. So for me, my whole career has been about being curious, about trying to see what can I learn, what can I do, and then move on,
Great. Curiosity, one key word you should be taking home today. Senyi?
Mine, well, believe it or not, I was an introvert. So at the age of 8, I think 9, so my dad and I were going on vacation. We were going to Russia. And so I wanted a camera. And my Uncle George, he got me a camera. So, but then there was this incident, and then I had a camera way before our trip to Russia. So I was taking photos around the house. My mom had these notorious people, like house elves, and I took the photos. I like the effect when we went and printed the photos, when my mom saw the photos. I was like, hey, so is this what you've been doing? I said, this is how to talk without talking. That's nice. But I come from a very goal-getting family that I knew that I liked the photography at age 8, but what does it bring? The photographer I knew, or I know, was on bicycle. Photo. You come around on Sundays. Is that what I want to do? No. So I like photography, it's nice. When I turned 14, I stole a book from my mom's collection, and I read, I think the title was Dazzle, and Dazzle had 3 photographers. One did food, one did automobile, and the other did societal events. Guess which one brought me here?
Societal events?
Sorry, food.
Food, no. You read.
Yes, food. So like Ethel said, I like to create. I like to blow minds. And I discovered myself very early. So the food photographer had a commission. And he said to this French chef that he should bring the bird, the turkey, right, whole, and the veggies. Don't touch it. Just bring it. And the French photographer was like, I have a special offer. I said, this is my turf. When the chef brought the full bird and the veggies for, garnishing, the photographer had mixed paint. And when the bird was brought in studio, he painted and touched up parts of the bird. And you look perfect, golden, crispy, ovened bird. And even the chef was like, magnifique. And I was like, that's what I want to do. Because you know how many millions of people around the world look at food books? Of course, you may see it as deceit, but they're going to look at this photo and they want to get. That will be the goal. It's like they want perfection from that bird. And I was like, this is what I want to do. And then I saw that, yes, they were charging, back then they were charging $1,005 USD 3,000. I said, oh, so photo is not for bicycle. Oh, wow. I could do this because I come from a business-minded family. And they're not going to take me being on bicycle, right? True. So I'm like, oh, wow. I could be in photography and talk big figures. I mean, right? So I got in. I started photography in 99, right? And when I got in, I knew I like to tell stories. I like to talk. I like to communicate. But I also like my photos to generate conversations. And having done all of it, I found that sports was the most unstaged human aspect of life. I keep telling people this. Go to a funeral of a young, fine, rich young man, and everybody is crying. The beautiful wife too is crying. As soon as that beautiful widow sees a camera, do you get it? But when Cristiano Ronaldo or Usain Bolt are in to break records, in to score goals, Messi, they are all in, the Williams sisters are in to break those records. They don't really care how they look. It's about passion. There's no border until the goal is attained. There's that there's that look of anxiety. There's that moment they are humbled. There's that moment they feel they have the alpha self come out. It's an explosion of bouquet in sports. And I stay there. So that's my story.
That's really nice. Very inspiring. Lydia?
Yes, so for me, I would want to say that life is a discovery. When I was in JHS, like Ethel rightly said, I wanted to be a doctor. I mean, when you like science, when you like science and everybody asks you what do you want to be, the first thing that comes to mind is doctor. I mean, when I was in primary, I wanted to be a bank manager. Can you imagine? And then I switched to doctor. So when I got to SHS, I was supposed to choose courses. A friend mentioned petrochemical engineering. So that's what I studied in school. Petrochemical engineering. I mean, when you mention the course, it sounds exciting. Yeah, so I went to research about it and I told him I was going to choose it. But interestingly, I chose pharmacy in school. Petrochem was my second choice.
Oh.
So how things played out at the end of the day, I ended up doing petrochemical. But I realized when I started the course, I loved it. Because in JHS, I loved maths. When I went to SHS, I liked chemistry. So I realized I could blend the two. And I realized that, yes, this is what I can do. That's why I chose chemical engineering. And I think that I'm not there yet, but I think I'm enjoying what I'm doing now. So I'll say that choosing a career path is not a one-stop shop. It takes, you get to this junction and you realize that, oh, you can turn left to right. I choose right. You get there, you realize that, you can go forward again. So as you journey through life, you realize that you can do more than everything. So my principle is that I can do everything I set my mind to do.
Yeah.
Then once I get there, I make sure I do it.
Yes, you can do everything you set your mind to do. Yeah. Sanya, did you ever get on set? Let's say there's you're covering FIFA World Cup. In fact, your very first FIFA World Cup. Did you ever get there and find the male photographers looking at you like, okay, who is this woman?
So not the very first. The very first was an African festival.
Okay.
So it was more of a celebration. But it was the very first time I decided to go into sports, Accra Sports Stadium.
Okay.
And my chi is not too good, But so I saw two photographers, and then they were standing there. Don't laugh at my chi, okay? Because I just said, Agrona, you know. So I smiled. But you know something about photography, right? Unless, of course, the person is really a pro, you can tell from their body language if they got a shot or not, right? So I smiled when I heard what they said. And then while shooting, that was, I think I branched into sports photography in 2005, right? And then there was a friendly game, but involving all the top stars. So they were shooting. And in fact, even from their gear, I knew, I'm like, I'm coming to play, okay? So there was a particular shot. Then they were, Unya. I said, no, I didn't get that. They pointed to each other. Then I smiled. I said, please, did you get this? You know, then we, you know, they looked at me. I'm like, yeah, that's how I announce myself, right? But photography has taught me something that, you see, we like to say that as for Ghana, dear, as for African man, dear, as for the black man, dear. That's a very wrong statement. Gender bias is a global phenomenon. What I experienced in 2005, 2 men being quote-unquote condescending towards me as a tiny woman. I used to be tiny once, you know. As a tiny woman, I faced that thing in 2014 in Brazil. I saw 2 Caucasian photographers, and in Brazil, that's the World Cup coming into Brazil. So it was, for you to have made a cut, you were like, do you understand? You were top of your game. So, and it made men feel like, you know, alphas. And in any case, it's only alpha photographers, like, you know, they mostly go into those sports and wildlife theme because, you know. So when the 2 saw me, I think they were one of the top-rated people, so they saw me, then what? They shook their head, looked at me up and down, and laughed. Oh. Do you understand? Yes. I got the same thing from Japanese. It's a group of Japanese. That one I was eating, right? And me too, I'm thinking I'm even taller than this man. Then he was, and I was eating, and then he was like, you must be really, really hungry. I said, of course, otherwise, Grandpa, why would I be eating in front of you? And photography is a psychological game. You see, the fewer people who get an image, the more expensive the image. So right from the word go, we start playing psychology on you so that, you know, we discompose you before the game starts, right? So I look at him. I said, otherwise, why not? He said, who do you work for? I said, no. At my age. Then he said, I work for the Japanese. I said, I work for myself, Grandpa. Do you get it? So from right there, then, you know, we sit straight, you know. So when you say one thing, and then it's spread across, and they knew she was a lady with a tongue. Do you get me? So, but of course, you don't also want to do that, because as much as you have the brain for photography, that is, the brain about photography is composition, but the gears are heavy. Not my gears, I even bought the gears. The gears are very heavy. So at a point, that's why you know that's why you see 300 men and 2 women, because it's heavy, okay? So sometimes you want to play the damsel in distress a bit, but beyond that, you know, so you don't also want to, I see a lot of women in certain fields, and so you have to walk like this. No, just let them know that you can't walk over me, right? But hey, I will need your help. You know, to me, that's how I live. Right? You can't walk over me. If it's brain power, you got nothing on me, right? Money is strength, shall it help you small? So it's not a Ghana thing. All over, men would look at you. But let's be frank as women. When we see a man who cooks, the very first time you saw a man cooking, or what do you call those?
Exactly.
You see? So I'm not here to downplay the woman card, but do you understand? It's just that we are not too loud in doing that. The men are louder. But whenever you see somebody in a different field, there is that reception issue. So yeah, so it's global. It's not a Ghana thing.
Yeah. Ethel, have you experienced that too?
I think. Listen, I worked in the UK. I worked in London. I worked in tech in London. So when you walk into the only thing that hasn't happened to me, which I'm very lucky, which happened to me in Ghana, that I was asked to make tea. But I also say that in the UK, nobody actually made the mistake of asking me to make tea because they assume you are the secretary in the room.
Yeah.
But in Ghana, you walk into a meeting. I'll talk about the Ghana experience, a very high-level meeting, and it wasn't that they didn't know, because we had done introductions, and a very high-level ranking man at the time turned to me and said, "Oh, can you make me a cup of tea?" And I turned, again, I've always been either the only woman or the youngest woman in the room. So this behavior is not new to me. So I turned to him and I smiled. And those who know me knew what was going to come. So when I looked on the side, I saw the meeting organizer running towards me because she understood that it was going to be a very interesting discussion. And then she said, "Oh no, let me get the administrator." So I was looking the whole time. I was smiling and looking at him. And then he started feeling uncomfortable and said, "Oh, but she was the closest to the cup of tea. So it's nothing." So even the men in the room were looking at him odd. And I said, "Okay, I didn't have to say anything to you. You've learned the lesson that you needed to learn." But the thing, I think, when I was younger, and that's why I always say, when I talk to young women, I always say, depending on where I was in my life at the time, when I was younger, you won't even finish that sentence. You understand? You won't finish. Now that I'm older, I understand how to enable the room to come at you without me saying anything to you, right? And so I think that there is, you get in the room where people think you don't deserve to be in the room, or why are you in the room, or, you're too young, you're a woman, what is it that you're looking for here? And for me, I know I belong in the room because I've done the work. I put in the effort, right? I'm now in a space in my career where people say, "Oh, as for this one, it's only you that can put this together." Yes, because I've worked hard, right? Yeah. And so now where I used to fly into a rage. I used to get so upset about it. Now I just smile and relax because I'm about to use you as a lesson. Right? I'm about to use you as a lesson for everybody to see. So I think all women, the higher you go, you realize the air is thinner there and the less women that there are there. And you just have to learn that you have to navigate. Yeah. Whether it is, because people know my personality, people expect me to behave a certain way. So it's not odd. When I do certain things, it's not odd because I've trained people to understand that this is my space, this is how I own it. This is how I act. Like, it was very funny because this morning, I was talking to a very high-level woman. She was on board of one of the biggest companies in Ghana. And I was saying the first time I met her, I was so happy because I was doubting myself a little bit because, you see my rings and I love that. And I go into my meetings, all my meetings looking like that. But there was a time where I was worried, should I tone it down for, the corporate, whatever. And when I met this woman, right? The whole dangling. And all her hands had rings. And when she was walking towards, I told her, when she was walking towards, she was jiggling. Like, and I said, this is God telling me I don't need to come down for anybody. Yeah. And since then, I've met women higher levels, and all of them, especially because I always worry about the rings and the earrings and whatever. And all of them are like that, right? The lady that I think she was the last two CEOs of the cloth company, GTP, Flisco. When I walked into the meeting, it was star. It was all the way from here to here. It was stars, and I was like, I'm in the right company. Yeah. I didn't need to make myself a little, I didn't need to conform to be accepted. And that, for me, is my take in going. So when I go into a room, I own the room. I am who I am. I am Ethel Kofi. I've built my career to this point. Whether or not you're uncomfortable with it, that's your own problem. So that's...
Okay, let me allow the house in. Just one question or contribution. Who has a question so far? Not yet. Or a contribution? Nobody's ready. You're enjoying it. Okay. All right, then we'll take Lydia's submission first, then we can...
And so I can't speak to one incident where I've had that bias. I think that I'm fortunate to find myself in an environment where my bosses are supportive. And I think it's a blessing to find yourself in an environment where there are no toxic people, where people are not trying to downplay your success. So so as a woman, I think that we shouldn't talk much. We should let our work speak for us. Once your work speaks for you, people will not say, she's a woman, let's cut her some slack. Or if we are all submitting a deadline by 2 p.m., we shouldn't say because she's a woman, she's a mother, so let's make it 3 p.m. You should be able to submit it to 1:45. So I can give people reason to say that the fact that you're a woman, the fact that you're a mother, the fact that you have children doesn't mean that we should give you, I want the word, we should cushion it for you, yes. I think that we should let our work speak for us. So I haven't had that challenge. So what I think we should do is that we should create supportive spaces where women can thrive, where women can be themselves. And to give people the reason to give a supportive space, you have to show up. You have to let people know that you can do it. And when you say you can do it, do it. Don't do it and say, oh, my mother said, so I wasn't able to do the assignment. You should be able to show up and do it. So that people know that you're a woman, but she can do it. Therefore, don't mention your name out there. But if we give them reasons to say that she's a woman, so let's cut up some slack, then we don't help the gender discussion. We don't let people support our goal. Then the International Women's Day, we are all talking about, we are all speaking for, we are all advocating for, we'll be downplaying our efforts. But if we show up as women wherever we find ourselves, irrespective of the biases, irrespective of the issues, we'll be able to thrive out there. We'll be able to do the work and let people know that we exist.
Yes.
I think there's I think there is a generational divide too, right? So those of us who went before, I think by virtue of the world that we came into, there were things that were done openly that men can't do now openly, right? Which I'm glad we suffered for the generation for the generation behind us. I do genuinely believe. I think if you talk to say millennial women or Gen X women versus Gen Z women, you realize because in the work environments now there are certain things that are not allowed. We went into the workplace where certain conversations people just had it, and I think that also shapes our thinking. I have only one pushback on the mothering and the mothering bit because I think I've seen a shot of you where you were carrying your baby behind. Well, we've had a meeting where I had to take women into the meeting, and one of the women I was taking into the meeting was at the time to meet the Minister for Comms and Digital at the time. She couldn't find anybody to. Her baby was 3 months or 4 months. She couldn't find anybody to carry. And I said, put the baby at your back.
Exactly.
We will go into that meeting. Right? And when we entered, the minister, and I made a joke. I said, oh, Madam Minister, we have brought you a baby. And she, as a woman, understood quickly the situation, right? But I told her, because she was going to sit outside and not coming to a meeting. I said, no, we have a meeting with a minister. This is an opportunity for you. I will not allow you to not come into the room. So she carried the baby behind. We went to that meeting. Luckily, the baby didn't cry. The baby was really good for the whole hour that we had the meeting. So it's yin and yang, I think, in this process, because in the world that we're in, or in our environments, a lot of the childcare is put on the women. So maybe your house help left the day before. You have to go to work. You don't know. Your husband will take his bag and go home and go to work. If you are not lucky, right? And then you are in that situation. I've learned, especially where mothers are, the first 2-3 years. I understand to give grace because she probably hasn't slept. She's probably been working, whatever. So if you want to carry a baby, MTN does a really good thing where they have the crèche at the basement. That's why women don't leave MTN.
Yes.
You try to hire a woman, she won't leave. Because they have the crèche. So when she comes to work, she leaves her child in that crèche. She can work to whatever time of the day and close. I think it's also a generational thing. As we try and fix, childcare unfortunately sits with women. And so we have to give women grace where it comes to it.
No, I was with her. So then, I was with her. And in fact, we even had a conversation towards this. So I was with her in the, women, we should, if we're fighting for, the equality, we shouldn't give excuses.
So I was nodding, and then when she said whether you're a mother, then I was about to nod when I remembered that, there are times, do you understand? Yeah. There are times when, you know, the children are just, you know, and I have a philosophy. I don't use my child or family as an excuse. Mm-hmm. And the day you mention you touch my child or my family, I'm done with you. Mm-hmm. I once had an association meeting. There's this photographer, young photographer that I like. I heard he made a submission that, oh, President, I'm the president of Ghana Sports Photographers Association. And then, till date, I'm not, and I hope he gets to watch this. I'm still not at a place where I'm yet to forgive him because he made a statement. I didn't know that there was going to be a conveying, and that's another thing. I didn't know there was going to be a conveying of a meeting. And then you go ahead and have a meeting. And he said on the platform, oh, President, no come. It will come tell we say, in kiddies, them take the phone, they play. This is a young man that I liked. But you know, each time I see him from that day, each time, and you see, people thought, I don't know why they thought I was on, but people were calling to apologize. That's how I got it. People were calling to apologize. You know, and every time I see him coming towards, like walking on the pitch, before, like he was my favorite young photographer. Like, I liked him. He's a very popular person that people, like, you all know. Do you get me? But when he's approaching, I just see this snake. Yes, you see, that was attacking my person and as a leader. Do you understand? So like she said, the woman thing, we have to get it right. Listen, there's nothing chic about I'm a millennial woman or I'm a working woman, so you have to take care of the kid. Look, we have a God's gift with children. Okay? You can see there's this skit where a father was trying to be nice to the daughter. Oh, come on, take the rubbish. And what? That's not how to answer. Go and take that. And then, you know, so we are given that mandate by our Creator. Do you understand? Like she said, there's the photos of me where my child, like you said, I got to Italy. I've been paid, okay? Got to Italy to document a client playing football. It's not, you know, it's never easy walking into any Premier League, whether in Ghana or wherever. Ideally, you can't just walk in. Matches have been booked for me with all the top clubs you can think of in the world for me to shoot. And the person I booked for babysitting didn't show up. And it's a documentary. It's sequential. I can't leave that side. I was calling. And it's not Ghana. You are going to Italy to tell somebody that because of my daughter, Jesus. I'm like, oh my God, you can't reduce me to this. I turned around. I called for the 107th time. These people didn't pick. I took my baby. I got to the gate. And I first apologized to my child for exposing her. Because listen, stadium, 1 minute is a happy place. The next meeting, it can be a battlefield. Anything can happen in a stadium. So to have taken a child under one, I took her and I said, Marina, Babasia, you know. And then I just put her behind. I got to the gate. And then the person looked at, the Italian looked, no, baby, here. No, I said, me, baby, sit and no come. You know when you have given her, you're tired. I said, no, come, me, match. Look, accreditation. You know, the guy was like, then they spoke Italian. Me to shoot this match today. Then I was tapping my, you know, I needed somewhere to vent and fight. You know? I felt trapped. Do you get me? Yeah. So then they said, okay, come. But you stand here. And there's nothing a photographer, a videographer likes more than being in a secluded angle. So it means that you are going to get some sort of unique shot. They gave me somewhere. I said, thank you, I like. And like she said, for some reason, children do not cry during those things. My daughter never cried. First half was over. I fed her, put her back behind me, stood and shot to the end. At the end, my client came and said, what was the baby? Behind me. But I came to Ghana, same thing happened. And because I didn't even think it was going to be an issue. There was a photo of me that went viral. And then I was doing a women's event, you know, and I put my baby behind me. And Fallon,
Fallon, one of us.
No.
And she shot. I came to see that my phone was very hot. So I was like, why is this phone hot? And there were like thousands of notifications. I was like, what's going on? And I thought, so my PA said, I just, oh, Fallon. I said, oh no, that's just, I said, let me tell you this. I said, Madam, sorry. You have 1,500 likes so you have, like, I was like, what? It went viral. Then, Serena Williams said something once. She said, when there are comments, the negative ones grab at you. You can see 1,000 positives. But I just saw 2 comments, all for the camera. And 3 days before then, I'd had an armed robbery attack. So I was going through a lot. I didn't even want to show up for that program, So I was so furious. And I took the phone, trying to respond. Then I saw a friend comment pop up, Solon Bryant, and she was like, then you don't know her. She wanted camera attention. She can go to any studio. She has friends who will give her airtime. And then that sort of calmed me. So like one of you said, sometimes your work, my work has spoken for me, that I don't need the camera attention. So sometimes you don't need the fighting. Sometimes we think to be strong, it's a Tyson, all that we need. Sometimes you just watch them, like she did. Just watch. Do you understand? Yes. Because sometimes, even as women say something, as for that, the way she thinks she will come and discipline people here. No. When they say that about me, I said, yeah, I discipline people if you are out of line. Are you out of line? I said, I beg, make me work. You get me? So, yeah, so the mother thing is dicey.
It's dicey.
Yeah. It's dicey. But what she say is, as women, let's not think we should be favored because we are women. Listen, an English girl doing French, you have no business coming to tell anybody that French is difficult. Who sent you? In the same vein, nobody sent you to be an engineer. You chose to be. So don't expect the world to favor you. They are all there to be engineers, be they men or women. They are all fighting. Who was giving birth to support you? Maybe your mother gave birth, your mother and father decided to give birth. But apart from those 2 people, seriously, nobody owes you that thing to be pampering. If you get that support, be grateful for it. But don't go into places thinking, but I'm a woman. Of course, sometimes you throw the woman card a bit. But when you overdo it, then you are not justifying the inclusion. Right?
Yeah.
You're not justifying it. So whatever field you find yourself in, whether it's male-dominated, woman-dominated, don't expect that favoring. You become annoying. We don't want you around. Don't expect, let your work speak for you. That they'll say, hey, Charlie, ask for, I could say, like, being kiddie, Charlie, go sit to your child there. Oh, we know. Let them speak for you. At the same time, don't kill yourself. Learn, what are we saying? Be yourself.
Okay.
Don't impress people.
Don't impress people. Be yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, the conversation is becoming more juicier, isn't it? Yeah, but we're having a good time. But here's what we need to take a breather. We'll be back with more. Please stay.
Dear, we are supposed to be celebrated because one was a new baby or honoma or baya or yenny or no or intimate and I say Sadia Nipo and ye poa or bear who or bow and dear be oversee a diano and sana happy. And tis a diana 1 mahono or so be muso ya or yenny ye on rash or yenny ye yanny gooda SSH upon or baba or no shankwala. Ono ankwala ebe didi omo homework omo bi ada no so adechi ono be ma no so ye den e kodwuma koro na wo ono adechi onna ba be ma ba ono relax oba ne ba oni sa relaxation na or relax because I was so share say nkwala ne didi omo adware omo ye omo homework nkwala na da ansana ono oba ne be da na wada adechi a ono mmema na be sa kodwuma koro na ama na akoye Nioma, ebi ebro mema na onu relax ye ejojo no ho no. In fact, so shade amba we are supposed to be celebrated. Emba bom mo modern pa.
Femi Magi, Abranuma enamaba anope. na Sunday ya Women's Day no. E de radia si wo mpepese radi de edu. Asema ye be stresse ye kunu ni mu se ye kosora. E mama koma entu. Ye mubuafo se na Bible ne kan ye no. Nsi wo ye be ma na wo yiri wo soro channel gi pay chen wo a. Eno nche se wa bre wase. Na emom no hye nkran na boa no. Ye nwanum ma no susu no ye du soro no ma. Yen ka ye nwanum a mo so mo ba no yen buo mo yen chechrom de so mo ye na ye nyina yen ka mo ho na ye nyina yen kosoro no mu na ne nyina no ahye Awurade anunyam.
What I think about say a ma ewo male dominated space the way a man no almost suppressing man no omo yet to say oh would your ba to say the olden time when they say woman your place is in the kitchen but sisi ano omama government na ama say sisi ano a man no enye more ewo amambu ni mu nti akoba ne say so oba bi wo baabi na oye adwuma bi na emema no wo behwe no no omo tan no no mo ye no ne ensem fata so what ya say dia me feel say esanka omo ye ni say oba yo bi a wakasa hwese na wawo ba na oba na behwe akola na ma akora na nyi wo oba ma no sika pe na oyitu wo sa na ye ma oba adwuma say onhwe adwuma so a otimi ye ni yie ma adwuma ni tu mpon ye behwe ye first second lady Cecilia the vice president what is doing now parting shoulders for women to go higher. And the second note, say a man so omudu sa level na. The way yes almost so no ya omudu on yes omu raise the younger girls to give them that exposure to also go to that height no. Na fe adani say, me na me madam, me na fe imban ya fe ehona oba power ni oba ego no arise. I think that is not good. The way a man here wa yesuso mu do high no bring another woman to you so that now as time goes on the women will dominate in most of the posts or the offices. You understand? I think that is my take.
Many thanks for staying with us, and you are watching Hair Space on Joy Prime. And just like I said, this is the very first edition, but every single year, International Women's Day, we're bringing you such inspiring conversations because we want women not just to be in rooms and be surviving. We need all women to thrive. And then, you know, when men are standing, we can stand equal with them. But just like we said, sometimes women, we have to go down small. But when it comes to changing the narratives in your societies, wherever you find yourself, that mentality of because I'm a woman, I can't do it, we're breaking that mentality from today, from now. And so if you are watching and you're sure that your friend isn't, please pick up a phone, let her know that we're on right now. We're live on Joy Prime across our social media platforms at Joy Prime TV. We've been having a very great conversation, but this year's theme for International Women's Day, Give to Gain. We've always had a conversation about women, supporting women, and a woman's downfall is from a woman. As women, what do you think is that thing that we're probably not doing for other women that makes the entire world, or maybe even a society, feel that women are their own enemies? Lydia?
I think that when we say give to gain, we have to understand that for a woman to thrive, she will need people, but more importantly, if she gets women pushing her, it changes the story. When men push women up there, sometimes they think they are doing us a favor. But when we see women pushing women, unfortunately, it's a rare occurrence now. So when we come together and we are pushing ourselves up there, then we are changing the story. Because by supporting one another, by encouraging young women, by creating a supportive space for women, not the men creating the space, even the women. Sometimes you find a woman who is supposed to understand that this lady is a mother or this lady is a woman. So, I mean, I've been in her shoes before, so I know how she feels now. Sometimes we, unfortunately, do not support such people. But if we support them, we will change the story. So when we are saying we are giving to gain, we are saying that we are giving people the room to thrive. We are giving people the opportunity to shine. We are giving people the space to be themselves and not pretend, not try to impress us. As Senyu said, we are letting women be women, but at the same time, we are letting them thrive being women. That's what I think.
Okay. Senyu Jom.
So maybe there's a lot of politician or politics in me. So this is what I understand by that statement. Give to gain. The world is about numbers. Everything in this world is about numbers. It gets to a point where you need people to be on your side. Okay? So if, like she said, if you give that support, and very often women are not too quick to disown when it comes to loyalty. Okay? So if you give, if you put two younger people, younger women along, and then there's a coup. A coup doesn't just mean like, government over. A coup is office politics, right? There's an organizational coup d'etat being plotted. She hears it. Because you have pulled her along, you are not the only one at that stage. And so should there be a vote, you are at least assured of their votes because they are fellow women. Again, should you as a woman go to your organizational washroom and you see there's no mirror, you're not the only woman there. So you have other women at that level to support you to say, yes, you people, the washroom is like a man's washroom. You're smiling, but little things like washroom and the rest can either make a workplace comfortable for you or uncomfortable. Okay, there's an university I went to. I felt uncomfortable because after using the loo and washing your hand, there's no mirror. And I kept saying that. And I didn't get any support.
I think I know that university.
Do you get me? So give to gain. If you gave your knowledge and they come, and you see, people say you give your knowledge and they'll come and fight you. Well, sometimes you also have to be very selective on who you chose. Okay? If you saw the person is a snake is a snake, you can see it. Okay? And if you pray about it or whatever you believe in, if you pull the right people with you, you have that number. And then you have gained a support system by pulling people along. So you are not the only one at the top. If you're about to fall, there are people to quickly cushion you. So that's what I understand by the statement.
Give to gain. Okay, so let's start with that, the whole premise of the sort of how you engage us. I spent a lot of time researching this. So the reason this whole women are their own enemies, that whole line, comes from a thinking, it comes from an expectation of duty of care that is placed on women, which is not placed on men. So we don't go into the workplace expecting men to bring up other men or to support other men, but we expect that of women because we say women are nurturing, blah, blah, blah. And so when a woman doesn't do it, she then somehow flouts the expectation of behavior. But you also have to understand, in a corporate setting, I'll give a really good example. I made a whole video on this once. On those who are old enough to remember. So the Tara Banks, Naomi Campbell debacle, right? When Naomi Campbell was the first Black woman to walk these runways. She was the first Black woman to have access to all these things. Tara Banks was the generation just behind her. But Naomi and Tara never
met face.
They never could work well together. Two Black women in the space. But I understood it. I understood that Naomi had entered into this space where nobody else was there. She had broken barriers. She used to have to carry her own makeup because the white makeup artists did not have makeup for her. So they would make her look white, right? She'd worked really hard. And then all of a sudden, after she's working hard and she's making accolades, she starts to lose jobs to this younger woman whose life is easier because she's made. I was like, no, if you look at it
It's fair.
The fact that they didn't work well together made sense. But women, they don't work well together. No, you think men don't do it themselves in the corporate world? Men are the most vicious to each other in the corporate setting. But when women do it, somehow, it's not... Well, so my thing is, when you see it, it's because you don't expect it from women. But I think women are not as smart as men that understand that people sometimes, all people are doing is they're protecting their careers and they're protecting their jobs. So I tell young women when they go into a job, and they're very excited because they meet this woman who they've always dreamed of, whatever, and she is not giving you face. You have to understand where she's coming from in order to bridge the gap. Now, for years, one of the big things I was accused of is I had all male mentees, and I didn't have any female mentee, and now we've corrected that. But it was partly because being mentored by me was a roller coaster, right? And people, there's an expectation of women to be soft, and I just am not soft. So, she's stressful, and then people would drop out. Right, Margaret Thatcher. But the young woman now who is my mentee has figured out how to work with me. She doesn't work with me with how the guys work with me. No. She understands how to... Because I've said, look, I will open doors for you. That I will do. When I'm in a room, and I will open doors for you. But when I'm giving you feedback, it's not fun. There is a thing where I believe, yes, women must support women, because I realized when I sit in boardrooms and I'm the only woman, I struggle. Because when you are fighting certain fights, you need other women to coordinate with, right? And so I believe that when you get to the door, or when the door is open for you, you must hold that door open for other women to pass through. But you cannot expect that women don't, especially in the corporate boardroom political settings, to act docile and submissive. Because in order to get there,
they too had to bite.
They had to bite, right? And so I think the thing is, we also have to train our younger girls of the expectations they have of the women.
Not right. It's entitlement.
Right? Because I had an incident. There was a young woman. I gave her she reached out and I said, okay, I'll take a call with you. I took a call. Oh, she's doing this. I should introduce her to this person. I was just saying, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. You haven't. I don't trust you enough to begin to open doors for you. I don't know what you ended. She have ended. I don't know what to do for you. And then she went around, Ethel doesn't support young women. And when I heard it, I told them to go and tell her, I've heard it. But now, I will really not support you. Now, I won't come to your events when I will not. I was like, no, I'm not hiding it. I want you to know. Right? Because they were trying to explain to her. But I was like, I don't know you. Because you want me to open a door to, say, the CEO. We had an event now with 4 bank CEOs, who are all people I have access to. You want me to open access to bank CEO, then you go and you misbehave, and then what happens to my relationship with that person?
Mauna Dumo had a saying. She said, you can never unintroduce a person.
Thank you. Right?
You understand?
Yeah. Because when they go in, so the part of it is, maybe I'm a little older. The younger women, I think we also need to figure out how we work with each other. The duty of care expectation should go both sides. And so I open doors for people that are vetted and trusted. Right? There are people when they call me and say, oh, I need, no problem. I'll make a call on your behalf. But people come in with an expectation that, oh, you are Ethel, you believe in women. So if I want you to introduce me to... You will. No, I don't know who you are. So I think there's a yin and yang of that conversation where we all have to learn that, because where men don't open doors for other men just because they are men. Right? You have to earn the right. And I will open the door for you. As long as you've earned the right, I will open the door for you. But when you feel entitled to that support, then you and I have been supported. Look, my first access to high level, it was another woman that made a call and said, Ethel must be in this room.
Yeah.
Right? But I had built trust with her. So I leave you with that.
You know, that's a quick one, right? So like she said, I also have all male, okay? And I keep telling people that it's a specialization field. So I cannot like lure women like because they are into photography. Then I had a marketer who really wanted to project me as a woman thing and brought me a lady photographer. She was from studio. We took her to the pitch. Then I saw her studio work. She said she can do speed work. I said, okay. Then I had a corporate meeting to attend. She brought 1,005 frames. We couldn't even get 15. And then when I said, why were the photos blurred? Well, she said, oh, madam, but you should understand this. I said, understand what, my dear? Let me know. He said, but you see, women, when I attend, they were looking at my back. So you see, I gave her the chance. But I also heard the same thing that you heard. Like, oh, and I said, you see, this is so wrong. This is why I only take if you merit being with me. You see this? And I heard it differently.
Okay, let's bring in the house then. 2 questions from the house. Okay. You mention your name and then you put your question.
Okay, so my name is Helena Akakbo. Yes, a service personnel and also an aspirant for secretary, general secretary, and NASPA.
Ooh, yay! Women in politics.
Yeah, it's
politics. So I would like to ask, when you were speaking, you spoke about getting support from family. That's what made you successful.
You
okay.
you don't have to.
From your success story, you spoke about getting family support. So to the young lady out there and here who is not getting family support, I want to ask the strategies they can take to get to that point that you got to.
Okay, we'll take the next question, then we can answer.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
My name is Maureen, the NASPA Parliament Women's Commissioner.
We've got politicians.
It's a contribution, a very short one. So I think in all this, we all have roles to play as individuals.
Yeah.
Like, we are here and we've heard. So let's encourage our friends who think, oh, this is for men, this field is for men. Because I do encounter a lot of females that talk to me. Sometimes, too, I think it's how you project yourself for them to approach you. So they will come and say, I want to do this, but this one is saying this. I want to do this. You say, my dear, you say. So some people need a push. Go for it. They need someone to back them. So I think we can also do that in our societies, like our friends. It doesn't have to be broad, 1 person at a time. It would work. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gifty Osei. You spoke about investment, and I want to ask, how do we go about it? If you want to invest, where do you go to, and the right people to talk to?
Sure. Did you mean how you get into the investment field, or?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, my name is Faith. I want to ask that in a situation or in a place that you find yourself only among men, that there's no lady in the room, all are men. And then the men too feels like you're competing with them. And then in this case, they're not even looking at your work that you do. But I remember you said your work should speak for you. In this case, they're not even looking at your work, but they feel like you are competing with them. And so how do you do? Should you quit or like just go to where you are accepted or something? Thank you.
Okay. But can we go? Yeah, can we go? Like, I also want to answer that.
I'm so blown out.
All right.
But that's a defeatist. You know, I've been watching you. You were the first to raise your hand. You're not a pusher. I've been watching you. You were the first to raise your hand. They kept swerving you. No. Try and get what you want. Okay? Try and get what you want. Stop being, you're too apologetic. Now listen, who told you, how do you know that they are seeing you as competition? That's one thing. We think for people too much. What did they do?
They give you some kind of treatment when you bring
So what if they are competing? So what if you are competing?
They are competing against their fellow men too.
You are smart. They are competing against
You know,
fellow men.
intimidation is successful when the target is accepting. Is accepting.
Yeah.
You understand?
You don't get someone to support you there. It's like you are the only one.
Listen,
what is support?
What is support? Do you need support?
You wrote an application to come. So did he. Okay, you are on the same pay. If there's going to be a haircut, they will also be affected. Nobody will say that they are super. No. So it's a battlefield. But here's where you have to be a bit quote unquote canny. Do you understand? Like, if you feel that you said, hey, Charlie, why? We all came to work. Why they pick on me every day like that? I beg you. Your family depend on you. My family is depending on you. Don't be doing that. I beg. I'm not your enemy. We go on. Okay? And stop thinking for people. You can't go and ask them. For all you know, they are looking at you and they are thinking the way you are calm and kittenish and all. They are thinking that, oh, maybe Charlie, that girl, maybe sometimes they hide some sickness. So that's why they've been avoiding you. I beg you, sit up. Yeah. Even your way, I say sit up.
Yeah,
you understand? Chest up. I beg you.
Listen,
okay?
Being in competition with somebody is not a bad thing. I personally believe that everybody needs worthy opponents.
Exactly.
That makes you. It brings. Look, when I go into business, I'm competing with someone, right? The better the person is, the more I bring my A game.
The sweeter the victory.
Because you build yourself up. So there's nothing wrong with being competition. Sometimes you make allies from the people. There was a lady I lost 2 board roles. We went head on head. Okay. Like, she's not in Ghana. Message her, hey, can we have a virtual call? And we talked. We had a chat. 1 hour. Really liked each other. Today, this day. Like, I learned from her, she learns from me. Today, when she sees an opportunity, she calls me, she goes, I think this is for you. I think this is you, push. When I see something for you. So you can find allies in there. But there's nothing wrong with competition. Nothing wrong with this at all.
Indeed, there's nothing wrong with competition. Unfortunately, we're our time is already up, and we'll have to go. But I'm hoping that this conversation doesn't end here. That if you're a young girl watching us and you're thinking, is there space for me in there? There is space for you there. There is space for you to belong. There's space for you to thrive as well. And I'm sure that you have been inspired enough by everything that we've said here. I mean, these powerful women have given us a lot of things to go home with. At least I have some 3 new words that I'm going to work on from today. You have to make sure that you're curious. Curiosity can get you somewhere. Yes, that's a word I'm carrying along. Be there and don't let anything. But thank you so much, Ethel Senujom. I have to come for masterclass.
I'm telling you.
Thank you so much, Lydia, as well. You all have been amazing. Your submissions top notch. And thank you also, my studio audience here. Put your hands together for yourselves. And thank you also for watching at home and on social media, wherever you find yourself. I am Michelle Ojokum, and this is Her Space. It doesn't end here. The conversation of women, empowering women, will forever continue. Thank you so much for your time.